My name is Mitra and I work here in the Children's Garden at Ginter Botanical Garden. This week, we are talking about trees. On Friday, Tarnisha is going to read a story called The Busy Tree. And today, we're going to take a look at two trees growing right here in the Children's Garden, starting with our beloved mulberry tree. This mulberry tree has been growing here for over 100 years. Perhaps you have enjoyed playing in the shade or climbing some of the lower branches. Now, we are really lucky because this is the time of the year when the mulberry tree is fruiting. Would you like to see some of the berries? The berries turn from green to red to purple as they ripen. What do you think might be inside of these berries? If you said delicious fruit, you would be correct. If you said seeds, you would also be correct. Inside of each of these berries are many tiny seeds. Can you believe that one of the tiny seeds in this berry grew into this huge mulberry tree? Now, people like to eat the ripe mulberries, but so do the birds. And this is a good thing because the birds eat the berry and they fly away, and guess what? They poop out the seed. And this gives the seed a chance to grow in its very own space into a new mulberry tree. Now, mulberry trees are deciduous. That means that they lose their leaves in the fall. Look, this leaf got confused about the season and it already fell off and it turned yellow too. In the fall, the mulberry tree is a beautiful bright yellow and then it drops its leaves. Now, let's go talk about another tree here in the Children's Garden that is an evergreen. This is the Loblolly Pine. It's an evergreen. It's very different than the mulberry in many ways. First of all, it's very, very tall. What kind of animals do you think might like to live at the top of a very tall tree? If you said hawks or bald eagles, you would be correct. So the Loblolly Pine is different from the mulberry in many ways. One way that it's different is that the leaves hardly look like leaves at all. They look more like needles. Also, they're very waxy and tough. So when the snow and the rain and the ice come down, they might push down on this branch, but the branch is very flexible. So when the snow melts, the tree pops right back up, and it's perfectly fine, and it stays green. That's why it's called an evergreen tree. Another way that the mulberry is different than the loblolly is that the loblolly does not make berries. The loblolly is a conifer. That means it makes cones. Underneath each of these scales, there are seeds. These scales protect the seeds from harsh weather, and they open up at just the right time and release the seeds into the wind. The scales also protect the seeds from hungry animals. Most hungry animals, but not all. Look at this cone. Who do you think might have nibbled on this? If you said a squirrel, you would be correct. Some birds also like to eat the seeds of pine cones. If you're interested in learning more about how animals need trees, make sure to listen to Tarnisha read The Busy Tree on Friday.